since I didn't bring a guitar, if I did, I would share some music with you that I've written recently, but I don't. I forgot it because I'm not that together of a cat. So I'll share with you a song off our first album, and then a song off our second album, and then maybe a little something else later on. This is a song my brother Greg wrote, Dreams.
The Allman Brothers, of course, on what we're calling the Duane Allman Show.
Yeah.
No matter how good the records are, and I liked the first record until I heard the second one, and I'm sure I will like the second one until I heard the third one. But no matter how good the records are, the Allman Brothers seem better in person.
Yeah, man, that's really our natural element, man. We, when bands start to play, man, they can play live, man. We hadn't got a lot of experience in making records. I do a little bit from doing sessions and stuff, but not like a polished session man or anything. We get kind of frustrated during the records, and I think consequently our next album will be, for the most part, a lot of live recording, man, to get some of that natural fire and stuff on it.
Does it have something to do with the natural interplay with the audience?
Yeah, it's a lot, and then of course the spontaneity of the music is a lot of it. Just comes. There's rough arrangements, rough layouts of the songs, and then the solos are entirely up to each member of the band, that play. And so, some nights are really good, and some nights ain't too hot, But it's the naturalness, the spur of the moment type of thing that is what I consider the valuable asset of our band, because like we play live, man. In making records, you can't just do it over and over and over, if somebody makes a mistake, and plus the pressure of the machines and stuff in the studio, makes you kind of nervous and everything. So a live album, I'm sure, would probably be the best thing, and our next one will be, like I said, for the most part, live.
Mm. How does it feel in the case of Dreams to have somebody else do your music?
Oh, it's real flattering, man. It's nice that someone would like something we did enough to re-record it and do it again.
Yeah, they're talking there about the Buddy Miles version, of course. I'm surprised somebody like Johnny Taylor hasn't done that Please Call Home. That sounds...
Yeah, I wanted Clarence Carter to do that song. I don't guess he ever will. I sure would like to hear him do it.
I wonder who else could do a good job. B.B. King could do it.
Yeah, he can do anything. He can sing Happy Birthday and bring tears to the eyes. I'd like to hear Joe Cocker or Elton John do it. Yeah. One of them, man. They got both powerful voices, both very good.
Sure.
Moving right along now. Eric Clapton, man. Let's talk about him. He's a guest. He's a real fine cat, and I was, really considered a privilege, and an honor to play on his Derek and the Dominoes album. He's a professional, true professional in his field. He's a fine cat.
He had some nice things to say about you
in the
Rolling Stone back last year.
It just tickles me to death, man, to hear him say anything about me ever, man. He wrote the book, man. Just Contemporary White Blues Guitar Volume 1, man. But it's his style and his technique is what's really amazing. He's got a lot to say too, but man, the way he says it is just knocks me out, man. He does so well, man. Let's play Layla from the title tune of that album, man. Yep. Real proud of that one, I am, for sure.
It's Derek and the Dominoes, and it has Duane Allman and
Eric and Carl and Bobby.
Yeah.
Well, I went down there to listen to him cut is what I went for, and then, he says, well, like he heard my playing and stuff, man, he just greeted me like an old partner or something, He says, yeah, man, get out your guitar, man, we got to play, So then I was just going to play on one or two, and then as we kept on going, it kept developing, The album, incidentally, sides 1, 2, 3, and 4, all the songs were right in the order they were cut from the first day through to the Layla, and then Thorn Tree was last on it, man. But I'm as proud of that as I am of any albums that I've ever been on, man. I'm satisfied with my work on that as I could possibly be. I'm real pleased with it. I really thought it was fun. I was glad to have the opportunity to work with people of that magnitude, man. That much brilliance and talent and stuff.
That magnitude thing is one that throws a lot of people off.
Yeah.
He's like a god, having worked with Cream and, the great tour and worked with the Beatles and the whole thing.
Yeah, he's just, man, but just like the Beatles, man, just like anybody else, the reason the so many people love the Beatles, man, is just because they're just people, you know, just weakness and strengths, you know, and same thing everybody else has, man. You tend to put Eric on a pedestal, man, because he seemed to be the first one of the whole thing, man. But if, you know, anybody ever met him or anything, man, he's just a quiet dude, you know, just a real fine kid. An awful nice. It's hard for me to talk about him because I admire him so much, you know. It's hard for me to put him in a street context, man, but he truly is a man of the street, a gypsy, you know, just like everybody else these days.
You were telling me about some of the work that you did on that, for instance, the blues stuff.
Yeah, well, all day we would, when we were making the album, we'd record the stuff that was arranged, like the Layla there and stuff, start in the morning about 2 in the afternoon, and work through about midnight or 2, and then at 2 we'd say, okay, let's pick us out a blues, you know, and do it. And about a fourth of the songs on the album are blueses. And everybody would just say, oh, well, let's do, you know, and then we'd do it. And
the job when it's too late, I just love.
Yeah.
I like Chuck Willis.
Yeah, Eric said, we got an old Buddy Holly song we want to do, man. I said, that ain't Buddy Holly's song. He didn't even, you know, the only way that British people have to learn is off of records, you know, and the records, not many of the real good ones get over there, man. He's done a fine job of developing and understanding that blues feeling with what he's had to work with, you know, which is just like probably third-hand records that people send over, and, you know, all the blues and stuff from here doesn't even get released there very much. But he's gleaned it out, you know. He's went around and shopped for it, man, and searched for it because he's a fanatic about it, man. And he's just taken the time, you know, to build his knowledge of it to where he's a master, you know, of the blues technique, the blues idiom.
Want to go back to him with Cream?
Yeah, one of his finest solos is on the first album, I Feel Free. It really knocked me out. It sounds like somebody's singing this. Yeah, let's hear that. Yeah, now, the blues you've all been waiting for, the commercial.
You're going to move now from blues to jazz. You said before you thought it was the same thing.
Yeah, it really is, man. It's just as human feelings become more complex, man, as the world gets a little bit more, you know, more divided and a little bit, you know, more intelligent. The idiom gains a more, I don't know, I'm lost for the word, as the complexity, I suppose, is the difference between blues and jazz. It's the only difference, because it's all the portrayal of the feelings in the soul in a medium other than words. You know, you can't just, like, man, you can either complain and say, oh man, I really feel bad, or you can put your sadness into a musical context, man, and make it desirable. You know, nobody wants to hear anybody bellyache, man, but everybody wants to hear them play, you know, the blues and stuff. And you can say the same things, but make it to where it's a little less offensive to your fellow man, you know, by playing it with music. And also, you know, develop your talent, man, and leave the world with something, man. Records are really gifts, man, from people. To think that an artist would love you enough to share your music with anyone, you know. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's fascinated me ever since I piled up my motorcycle, man. I've loved it, man. It's really a thing. Miles Davis does the best job, man, to me, of portraying the innermost, subtlest, softest feelings in the human psyche, man. He does it beautifully. This is my favorite things. No, this is
Valentine.
My Funny Valentine. Yeah, we're gonna do things in a minute. That's from Miles Davis' greatest hits. He's a fascinating talent, man, a marvelous man, a great entertainer. That's bluesy, man. The front of that, man, make you cry, man, if you're in the mood. It's just, you know, will me anyhow. It's done so well.
You said a word there that hasn't gotten into our conversation or your radio show tonight. That's entertainer. It's been all a matter of, you know, the communication rather than a guy standing over here and making other people feel differently.
Yeah. Well, no, that's all a musician does is just it's just sort of like a different means of communication, man. If you have things to say, you know, and you can find no words for them, and I'm sure everybody gets caught in that position, or if there's a feeling inside you that there are no words to explain, you know, like you can say, well, heartbreak or jubilation, but you can also set it up in music to make people actually feel it without ever saying anything about it. You know, that's the grace of music. That's the blessing. It's you know, a lot of different forms of communication, but that's one of the absolutely the purest one, man. You can't hurt anybody with music. You know, you can't offend anybody. You can maybe offend somebody with songs and words, but you can't offend anybody with music. They just all you can. It's just all good. You know, you can't. It can. There's nothing at all that could ever be bad about music, about playing it. It's a wonderful thing, man. It's a grace. It's really fine. John Coltrane, probably one of the finest, most accomplished tenor players, and took his music farther than anybody I believe I ever heard. I want to play one of his records before we go. He recorded this song 15 or 20 times. This is a cut from 1963, and it's a little bit farther out than the miles we just played, but I believe anyone that will just sit and listen will really enjoy it. It's a magnificent work. John Coltrane, a fine artist. This is WPLO FM radio. My name is Duane Allman, and I've enjoyed this very much. All my cats in my band said to send you all their love, and it's really been a pleasure. And have a nice evening. Good night.
Thank you, Duane.
Thank you, man.
This is Ed Shane with Duane Allman and the Allman Brothers. Great new album, Duane.
Thank you. We worked pretty hard on it. We're real proud of it. We think it's pretty good, too.
What were you after going into the album?
It's live sound, like we sound live, you know, when we play.
A lot of it, can you categorize any of it? A lot of it sounds, some of it sounds British, really. It sounds like the British blues. A little bit of it gets into some Johnny Winter, this sort of thing.
Well, everything influences, you know, as you go along. You pick up stuff. You just can't help it. It's how you learn to talk, you know. You just hear your folks talking, whatever you hear, you know, that's how you talk. So it's like, you know, that's just how people are. So we've all been involved with music, I guess, since, you know, our early teens.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, stuff just soaks into you, you know. Like, you know, the British approach to the blues, you know, certainly was a lot fresher than anything that anybody was, you know, had any access to back, you know, I guess when I was younger, when this, you know, we were doing like Beatles songs and stuff like that, and it was getting to be pretty, you know, tiring, because, you know, there was all that other slop, man, you know, the Searchers and, remember all that crap? Well, so we just got sick of it, man, you know, traveling around playing it in bars, man, and, you know, man, so long, and so finally we just said, well, this has been a lot of fun, but we're tired of it, you know, so we all quit our respective groups about the same. Barry was with the Romans, Greg and I was with the Allman Brothers, Allman Joys, I mean. And
y'all working then where?
All over, man. Just, you know, there's a garbage circuit of the South, man, that you work at and you make about 150 a week and eat pills and drink, and you know, it's a bad trip. And so we just, man, it was killing us. So we quit about the same time. And Barry was staying down in Jacksonville, and we got together and jammed, you know, a lot. And none of us were working then, man. It's just like we needed a reprieve from that set. So I was doing some sessions in Muscle Shoals after. Well, I was in California before that, but that's yeah. We won't even talk about that. But it was essentially the same thing, and I was tired of it, man, because it really gets old. And so we were all getting together and jamming and saying, well, before we start anything, let's just say, you know, to hell with it, man. Let's don't get that same shit started up. And so, but the more we jammed, you know, like it got a little bit better. And so I knew these people at Atlantic Records, and, you know, I talked to them about, you know, trying to get something, you know, for real, you know, something that we could do that would just sound like us, you know, instead of something that, you know, they'd try to get to sell and all that stuff. And they, you know, they're going to try to sell it anyway, you know. But it's for different reasons, you know. It's not like, it doesn't seem like to me that it's the same old shit, you know. It seems like it's a good deal. And like I say, you know, we're proud of it. It's probably the best thing that ever happened to any of us.
Compare this to working in studios.
Oh man, studios. That's a terrible thing, man. You just lay around and you get your money, man. All those studio cats that I know, man, like they all got. One of them gets a color TV, see, and then the next day, man, they're all down to Sears or wherever, and hey, man, I'd like to look at some color TVs. And so like this one place I know, man, they do sessions. All these cats, 5 cats at one time had Oldsmobile 442s, man.
All red and black.
Yeah, one of them traded on a Toronado, see, and so all of them traded on a Toronado, and now one of them's got a Toronado and a Corvette, and now they're all looking at new vets. Man, it's just it's sickening, man. They're just keeping up with the Joneses. They're not playing any music. Their stuff sounds like crap now, man. I was down there working with them for about a half a year, and I got sick of it, man. Any sessions I do now, I go in there and do it and leave.
You worked with Aretha Franklin for a while, right?
Yeah, 2 sessions. One in New York in last January when we cut the weight and It Ain't Fair and some other stuff that hadn't been released, and one in Miami that I didn't even play on because she brought her own guitar player, and so I just sat there and watched for a week and got my money.
People ever say, "Hey, that sounds like Duane Allman," or do you say, "No, it doesn't sound like me. It's her arranger"?
No, man, you don't play what you don't play. They tell you what to play. They say, "Here, play this," and you play that, man. And you get your money. What the hell? It don't matter.
On the in a concert or in a ballroom thing, you feel restricted as opposed to, say, the free stuff you've done in the park?
Well, anytime you're getting paid for something, you feel like you're obligated to do so much. That's why playing in the park's such a good thing. Because, man, people don't even expect you to be there, and if you're there, that's groovy, if you're just there to watch. And if you're there to play, that's really groovy. And so, like, playing in the park's, a really nice thing. It's about the nicest, way you can play. It's just for nothing, And it's not really for nothing. It's, for your own personal satisfaction and other people's rather than for any kind of financial thing. That hangs a lot of people. Make a lot of bread, you try too hard, and either you can do something or you can try to do something. Whenever you're trying to do something, you ain't doing nothing.
And the bread will stop you, too. It'll keep you there to make more.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I quit doing sessions because of that. I was getting to like it too much.
Where do you think the Allman Brothers first and music in general might be going? Do you think there's a direction back to the roots, the rock revival, this sort of thing?
Well, in a lot of ways there is. I know it's a lot of groups now. It's just it's coming down to everybody's expending all this energy in various ways to get that same old feeling out of it that Little Richard can get out of it in 5 minutes. And people are finally waking up to the fact that you can expend just as much energy and stuff and get just as much of a good feeling out of a simple thing as you can out of something that's hard, It's just people these days, like a lot of the kids that are playing, and stuff, not kids, but a lot of the people that, would have you believe that they're, intelligent musicians, are playing bullshit, And this music's become intellectualized and everything. Man, music is fun, It's not supposed to be any heavy, deep, intense thing, man, especially not rock music, man. That's, that's to set you free, man. Anybody ever listen to Chuck Berry, man, or any of them cats knows that. It's hard to believe that the amount of, I don't know, I'm lost for words, the amount of emphasis that's been put on rock music and all the money that's been made and stuff by people who really are full of shit. And it's squashed out a lot of people that were really good folks, kept them from making bread. And it's pathetic, and it's pitiful. Like nowadays you get maybe one good record and 10 really crappy ones, and they all go right up the charts together, and it doesn't make any sense. It's just, people that, I got opinions like assholes, everybody's got one. But like to me, it's some people just really, that don't know where rock and roll came from will really settle for a hell of a lot less, for a cheap, cruddy imitation of something that was really intense, back maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Some of Bo Diddley was really laying down, and like they listened to some really cheap, crappy imitation of, like this Andy Kim cat. Man, I heard a record by him that's it's a dead cop of old rock and roll. It made me want to throw up, man, and it's a big, monstrous record. all this money he's making, man. He's getting his picture, and he's got it on the lipstick and billboard and everything. It's just sad, man. It's a pitiful thing.
You like the idea that rock will sometimes talk about the times? Is that what you
Sure,
mean?
man. Yeah, it's like a newspaper for people that can't read. It's, you know, they'll just rock and roll will tell you right where everything's at, man. It's just it's blues, but it's not like blues so much. It's like just something to move your feet, man, and move your heart and make you feel good inside. You know, forget about all the bullshit that's going on for a little while. You know, fill up some of the dead space. Especially here in Atlanta, I know there's plenty of dead space with the police department and stuff here, and all the crap that goes down, man. A lot of that stuff's really a drag. That's why we live in Macon instead up here, though, because it's not near as full of perverted people.
Macon sounds like it's going to become a center.
No, man, it's very quiet. It's not going to be the center of anything. That's why we stay there. It's just good and quiet, and there's no trouble, you know. There's no nothing, you know, especially no trouble. So, you know, we come up here as much as we can, man, but it's like, we talked about moving up here, you know.
Yeah.
But we know a couple of bands that you know, play up here and live here, man, and like they always getting their places broke into and stuff. So we figure, well, we'll just lay up down there. It'd be a lot better in the long run, you know.
Oh, the new album. What's your favorite, most satisfying cut?
I like everything on there, man. I feel like hey, man, I feel like we got a bunch of stuff done. I like it all. I don't have any particular favorites. Some of it's, you know, older than, you know, like some of it we worked out at first when we first got together, and then as we went along, we became, you know, a little bit more proficient. You can tell by listening to it, the earlier stuff's not near as complex as the stuff later on. When, like, we started, we had one drummer, two guitar players, and a bass. And then Greg came back from California, and then we had an organ, and then we got Butch, and that was another drummer, see. Well, we were working stuff out all along. We worked the Muddy Waters song out first, and it's not that particularly impressive, you know. It's just a good, hard, funky thing. And then as it went along, you know, Butchie came into the group, and he's, you know, he likes to play with time and stuff, and that's where the 11/4 stuff came from, the 7/4 stuff. And it's, you know, but it, you know, it just kind of grew, you know. And we're getting kind of more into a straight time thing now. The two things we've done since the album's been completed were in, you know, straight 4 time and with rock and roll type of thing. Because it's just simply because it's more fun to play and requires less effort. You know, it's a nice thing.
Duane Allman of the Allman Brothers. Thank you.